Hi, Kevin Henry, the Group Editorial Director for Advanstar and Modern Hygienist, and I'm on a Google Hangout today with America's Dental Hygienist, Anastasia Turchetta. Hey, Anastasia, what's up?
Hey Kevin, not too much, just hanging out here in Kill Devil Hills, North Carolina. How about you?
Hanging out in Colorado, so waving at you across the distance here.
There you go.
Um, the hot news story of the moment is Ray Rice, formerly of the Baltimore Ravens, and the domestic violence incident that was caught on camera with his then fiancee, now wife, and really the ripples and the shock waves that just that little piece of video has sent throughout not only the sporting world but the world in general when it comes to domestic abuse. And Anastasia, I want to talk to you about obviously the dental professional's role in recognizing and helping stop domestic abuse. And I know that you've come up with some signs other than the what might be very obvious physical signs. But what are some other signs that dental hygienists and dental professionals need to be on the lookout for when it comes to abuse?
You know, Kevin, interestingly enough, it's amazing to me that sometimes we do see things and we may just think it's normal or we'll find another reason for something. But just to go over a super quick stat, nearly 3 out of 4 Americans, 74% of us, personally know somebody who has been in a domestic violence related incident or who is currently in one. So that's huge, 74%. So taking that into your dental practice, I kind of wonder, where does that statistic go to? So what do you look for to answer your question? You know, not only obviously the physical signs. If someone's wearing long sleeves and sunglasses, I think those are always the first thing we think of. Instead, you never think about a person's self-esteem. We don't think about other things as far as, there's economic abuse. So maybe somebody wants whitening, or somebody wants to get their mouth healthy, but literally in this particular cycle, someone takes your paycheck, someone controls your budget. You can kind of tell the patient because they're anxious about it. So you have economic abuse, you have emotional abuse, obviously physical, and isolation. So did somebody used to come and now they're not coming at all? So that person is literally isolated from friends and family. What you can look for, there was a study done actually at the University of New York College of Dentistry, very interesting this week. Study was in 2005, and they found that partners and kids who grew up in this environment or in a relationship literally have more dental caries or cavities than somebody, a man or a woman or a child, who isn't raised in that environment or currently in a relationship. That to me is key, because I wouldn't have thought that. I would have just thought, oh, it's their eating habits, which it is. I get the scientific part of it, but you have to understand the stress that person's under. Some people stress, they eat, right? I mean, and if they have dry mouth, they may not have the adequate saliva, and they may not know what to do with it. So beyond, look at that. Look for chipped or cracked teeth. Look for ulcers or any injuries around the mouth that just don't look quite right. But the increase in cavities there, that particular study surprised me.
And I know doing some research before you and I got on this call, we discovered that there, at least with kids, with the elderly, and with adults with disabilities, that there is an ethical and a legal responsibility for dental professionals to point out when abuse might be happening. And it really is one of those times when you might be the one person or the one voice for somebody who might really need something like this.
That is so true, and I would encourage the teams, especially with this. What happens is you see individuals or people coming out against Ray Rice's wife. Let's take this opportunity to educate the dental teams, and let's take the opportunity to raise more awareness, just like you said. You don't know who. You might be able to just change somebody's life to get out. So that falls on us to, I would just be curious, how many dental teams are trained on handling domestic abuse or violence in the office? What if you have a team member who's in an abusive relationship and that person comes in? They happened a couple of years ago. I was in California and heard it on the news that it was a patient, and they were in an abusive relationship, and the man came in and he did, unfortunately, take his rage out on the dental practice. And are you prepared for that? So it goes back on education. And the other thing too, if you're not quite sure, you can always check out Tim Twiggs, Ben Erickson's Employment Law Compliance. That's a great resource.
And, one of the things that I thought about is we always talk about lunch and learns with, electric toothbrushes or the latest material or whatever. Maybe it's a lunch and learn with your local law enforcement to talk about, what some signs and what can be done in that situation.
Exactly. I think it's a heavy topic, but yet I think we can never be educated enough on it, and to literally go through scenarios of, is your office prepared? What would happen if, I guess it's not the question of what would happen if, what would happen when this happens?
You mentioned changing lives a minute ago, and obviously the American Academy of Cosmetic Dentistry has had their Give Back a Smile campaign for some years now. And I know you've seen it, I've seen it, how these lives have been transformed, these, abused women who have had smile makeovers, and, their lives are just completely changed because of this.
It really is, and I applaud them for taking this, and it's the AACD if anybody's interested in looking. And of course, there's an eligibility, you have to apply for it. But wouldn't it be cool if you could do something that in your own community? I think that's the way to raise awareness and make a difference in somebody's smile.
It is, and like you said, it's a heavy topic. It's not one that we like to talk about, but this week we've proven time and time again that it's a real topic, and it's one that we as dental professionals need to be aware of. So, Anastasia, I really appreciate your time and your insight and expertise as always. Thanks so much.
Thanks for having me, Kevin.